I actually grew up in this particular area, so I'm 46 years old and have lived in Myrtle Beach for around 40 years up to now. And I've actually been selling real estate for over 20 years. And the entire time I've specialized in the residential and the condo real estate markets. One of the main things that I really look to accomplish when working with somebody is I want to make sure that I do one of three things. I mean, number one, I want to make sure that I maximize their sales price. Sales price seems to be one of the most sensitive issues with seller clients today, and I really want to make sure that we reach our targets in that area. The second thing that I want to focus on is minimizing the time. There's got to be a balance between price and time, so it's important that I really understand what my client is looking to accomplish. Number one, maximize their price. Number two, minimize the time. And third, and I think it's equally important, is I want to just make sure that I create an experience that has the client wanting to come back the next time that they need real estate services, or maybe an experience where they'll refer me to other people in the future. One of the things that I think a lot of people appreciate while working with me is the fact that I'm just very upfront with my clients. You know, instead of trying to candy coat things and tell them what I think they want to hear, I like to just sit down, look at the data, and come to an agreement based on what we're looking at. I mean, a lot of people say they really appreciate the transparency that I bring to our relationship. One of the most important things when selling property is making sure that you have an agent working for you that has multiple means of attracting buyers. In other words, you want to make sure that you have an agent that knows how to create demand for your property. Fortunately, knowing this area very well, over the years I've managed to build some very, very powerful websites. Things like myrtlebeachrealestate.com, barefootrealty.com, North Myrtle Beach Real Estate. It goes on and on and on. So, when people ask me, do I have buyers? The answer is absolutely 100%. As a matter of fact, with our web assets, we're attracting nearly 400 buyers per week to our websites, for which myself and a team of other agents are working those buyers on a daily basis. A lot of agents will talk about how they put properties in the MLS, and let's face it, I do the same thing. I put it on the MLS. I'll put it on Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. But what really sets myself apart from the average agent is I work those systems. I work the MLS. So instead of just putting the property in the MLS and waiting for somebody to come by and ask me questions about it, I'll put it in the MLS and then I'll do research and I'll start to identify out of the 3,000 real estate agents, who are the top 20 or top 30 real estate agents that are most likely to cooperate in a sale with your property? And then I will go ahead and contact them and personally explain to them all the features and the benefits of your property. And again, instead of waiting for them to trip over it in the MLS, I'm going to actually take your property directly to them and start selling them as why they need to show this one to their buyers. One of the things that I find in real estate today that agents have maybe underperformed is in the area of communication. And what I've learned throughout the years is that my sellers and buyer clients, they really want feedback. So I have actually set up some automated feedback systems where after every showing, we're reaching out to the person who showed it and we're asking them, how did the showing go? What was their opinion on the condition? What was their opinion on price? Is there anything else we could do or information that we could provide for them? Once I get that feedback, we automatically send that feedback to you, to our clients, and then we have conversations together to see, is there anything we can learn from that feedback? Maybe someone's complaining about the color of the paint, and we might not necessarily change the color of the paint, but in our marketing we could always add a $100 paint allowance or a $200 paint allowance in order to kind of compensate for something that might need to be taken care of. One of the benefits I think that my clients have with working with me is I'm not one of those agents that tries to do it all by themselves. I'm not one that's just working alone. I've actually assembled a great team, to help me make sure I reach the goals of selling the properties for my clients. I have an executive assistant that really makes sure that when I'm in appointments, if people are calling me, she's checking my voicemails and communicating with those that have called me so they don't feel like they're not left wondering whether or not I got the message. I have a photographer, a videographer, I've got a marketing assistant that also knows how to design promotional pieces. And then of course, once we get the property sold, I've got a closing coordinator that makes sure that she pays attention to all the details that are involved when it comes to working with attorneys, lenders, home inspectors, home warranty companies, etc. You know, at the end of the day, I really just want to help the buyers and sellers that I'm working with obtain their goals. And I realize that every buyer and every seller has a different goal. So first, I've got to make sure that I'm listening to the needs of my client. Once I understand exactly what they're looking to accomplish, then my goal is to sit down, a lot of times it's by myself, and start to identify the various solutions that will help that I can put into play that'll help them reach their goals. So once I've listened to my clients and I understand exactly what they're looking to accomplish, and I've taken the time to identify multiple solutions, then my commitment is to make sure that I put those solutions in action and I get the job done.